Hi, my name is Bella Carrasco, and helping others feel confident about investing brings a huge smile to my face. After working in the private equity, family office, and securities markets for nearly a decade, I am breaking down the world of money, investing, and financial freedom. Work optionality isn't a dream, it's a decision you make today. I bring you actionable tips, expert interviews, and enlightening strategies to help you get richer and stay that way. This is the How Do You Know podcast. And this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Please consult with a qualified financial professional for advice specific to your situation. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the podcast producers or sponsors. We make no representations or warranties regarding the accuracy or completeness of the content. In my conversations with a lot of high net worth investors, there's always this theme of legacy planning or planning for life outside of yourself. It's usually unselfish, but comes with a very important price because it's what you leave behind and give to future generations that can really make or break the success of those that you do leave behind. A key component of wealth building is making sure that you have enough for yourself and the generations to come. But what happens when you don't prepare those future generations? We're actually coming into a time where a lot of folks are saying that there is a large wealth transfer happening. You want to make sure that you have the appropriate items in place to make sure that your family is set up for success. That doesn't mean you have to wait until they graduate or go to college or become a certain age. It actually starts from the moment they're born, and the traditions that you start and the exposure that you provide to the next generation is very much so relevant into how future success will look like. So like everything, you have to start with a plan, and the book that Lance wrote talks a lot about the great practices that you can implement in your life. I think the values exercise is important because you can't possibly do everything. But if you pick a top set of 3, make sure that you are continuously reminding your family of those values, then you will be way better off. All of this in my mind is like going to the gym. If you don't go, your muscles will start to wither away. So the more that this stuff is at top of mind, the higher likelihood that you have of it actually being successful. So a healthy future generation starts with that strong foundation, and that foundation is set between the husband and the wife. And so you have to make sure that you are constantly checking in with each other to make sure that you are both feeling supported and loved in the ways that you need to be. It can look very different for everyone, so just find a cadence that makes sense for you to check in with each other. And the concept of gold sword versus silver sword is definitely something I would pay attention to because oftentimes we can let the stress of our work days splatter into the home life, but then that becomes unfair to the other person. Of course, they're there to support you, but just make sure that you're not treating them poorly because of how your day went, because again, that's not fair to everyone. The risk is that your future generations lose all the hard work that you put into building wealth, or falling into the trap of leaving all of your wealth decisions or all of the decisions that your heirs will have to make to the state. And based on my personal experience with my mom and my grandpa, it can be a lot for those who you leave behind. My grandfather did not have a will. My mom spent so much of her life traveling back and forth between Houston and Dallas because no, he did not leave a will behind. And so all of the decisions were left up to the family and on top of them already grieving. So not something that you really think of that is part of building wealth, but with it comes more responsibility. And many ultra high net worth folks I've interacted with have brought this to my attention. And so I wanted to just at least put it out there. It might not be an immediate term item, but it is something that you should always keep in the back of your head. I have even encountered a lot of high net worth families who will just sprinkle in some of these concepts to their children just to make sure that they're already fine-tuning those muscles in order for them to be able to appropriately handle the wealth moving forward. So whether that's setting up their own business for them, I know a family that they have some chickens in the backyard and the job of the kids is to then sell the eggs to the neighbors. So just little things like that you can start implementing and you can make it fun, you can be creative. with it. But again, just something I wanted to leave out there for everyone. I hope it helps. Until next time, adios. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found any value and want to support the podcast, I would be forever grateful if you texted someone the link. You can say that you have a podcast episode that may be interesting for them. Also, if you have questions or topics you want covered, please don't hesitate to reach out on LinkedIn or Instagram. Remember that every step makes a difference. I hope that you continue to learn how to get richer and stay that way.